All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Neo4j Live. Today, the topic is From Language to Logic, Why Graph AI Succeeds Where LLMs Fail. And I'm super happy to have Matthias Buchhorn-Roth join me today. Matthias is a AI and cloud engineer at Soprasteria, which is one of our platinum partners at Neo4j. And he is specializing on all things AI, really multi-agent systems, Azure Data Platform, Databricks, Snowflakes, all the buzzwords I would say recently, AI frameworks, you name it, and he's done it. So that's really interesting and really exciting to have Matthias join us today. He recently developed a couple of very cool, insightful thought leadership blog posts, I would say, where he gave his ideas on memory, on graphs, on vector search, on AI in general, and how things fit together. So that's why I'm super excited to have Matthias join us today at the live stream. So yeah, very warm welcome to you, Matthias. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Alex. Great. So I want to introduce myself a little bit. As Alex said, I'm at Soprasteria and working also with Neo4j. Not so long, I would say, since a year. I was a big fan of LLM, and then I realized, oh, there's a lot of limitations. And then I met a guy. He teach me Neo4j and graph theory, and now I set on fire. And this is also a chance to give you a little bit insight how I learned this. How was my journey? Yeah. So can you see my screen, by the way, or should I
Let's
share my
no,
screen again?
here we go.
Okay,
I can maybe this is
great.
better. Here's a little bit more space. Yeah.
So I want to guide you a little bit. Maybe Alex, also, if there are questions in the chat, feel free. Let's have also a very open discussion.
Yeah,
And
that's always nice. Like to
mhm,
reiterate this. Usually, this is open conversation. So today, again with Matthias. So hopefully we can have a bit of a conversation. So if you have any points in chat, let us know. Anything you want to discuss a little bit more in detail. I think we should have some time towards the end. So let us know. And in the meantime, would be great to
mhm.
also have a
and
show
to
of hands,
break,
maybe who's around,
cool.
who's watching.
And to break the ice a little bit, I prepared a Mentimeter and take your phone, scan it with your camera, and the camera will show. Wait for the host, and I will start a little quiz with 5 questions. So I also can see how deep is your knowledge, so I know how deep I can dive, or should I be explain a little bit more? Would be great. Yeah. Okay. Need to check. So let's start the presentation.
Oh, I see it now. Get ready to play, it says.
Yeah. Wait. You should see that now. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. This is not the right one. Wait a moment. Huh? This is a. Wait a moment. You can see this one, right? Ah, yeah. But this is not the presentation at all. Let me check.
No, I can. Well, yeah.
This is maybe this one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. No, it's not this one. Wait a moment. I need to start the presentation again. Ah,
Ah,
yeah.
here it goes. Yeah.
Here. So I have 3 screens. So, so sometimes I'm getting a little bit lost.
Oh yeah.
So we
That's
have 8 players. Let's wait a minute so more and more people can join. You also can use the camera with this one. I also
yeah.
would check.
People can still scan the code from this view. This is great.
Yes. So I also see we are waiting. Let's have 10 people, and
Oh
then
no, we lost one.
yeah, we lost one. So I think more or less we can start now. You can join a little bit later as well. No worries.
Cool. Yeah,
And
it's just for fun, right? Yeah.
yeah, so So the first question is, what is the primary limitation of vector search? As you know, vector search is find similar text but misses relationships and connections, or is it slower than a graph database? Third, it's required too much storage space, or fourth, it doesn't support multi-language content. You should scroll a little bit down, you see, and then you find the answers and click on an answer.
And it's
Uh,
only one answer, right? You don't know
Only
multiple.
one answer, yeah.
Good.
Ah, great. So I see most of the people are right. It's not a thing of speed. It's just a similarity search with three chunks. I will explain it a little bit later. And this is similarity. Yeah. And for industrial use cases, it might not be the right fit. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Next question.
Next question.
So we have 14 people now, so great. Um, okay, next one. Which capability is critical for high regulated use cases? Is it have to be open source? Is it preserving the document hierarchy and the source relationships? Third, best support for the German language organization. Ability to run AI models directly in the database.
I feel these questions are a little bit hinting towards something, maybe, but it's good.
Okay, great. So you see, we need to preserve the document hierarchy, and the LLM model, they have no hierarchy. It's just the nearest point, can be also very hallucinating. Okay, next one. So good. Question 3, which layer of a legal ontology is specifically designed to handle law changes? So on every lawyer in the room, is it a procedural state machine? Is it temporary dimension, or is it case overlay? So every lawyer should answer that. So we have
Okay,
no
no
lawyers.
lawyers in chat.
But this gives me the opportunity to explain a little bit more in the slide. This is a temporary dimension. So a law has a start and an end. So, for example, in 3 years you had another payment for unemployment rate than today, and this is defined in a SGB in the law for that. Yeah. So we're getting more or less people here.
You-
Um,
Hopefully, we
Good.
didn't
Next one.
chase anybody away with the law
What
question.
does the graph rack solve that traditional racks with chunks plus vectors cannot do? It responds faster. It's eliminating vector embedding entirely, translates regulations into multiple languages, or fourth, preserves document hierarchy, cites relationships, and traces citation. So I think it was quite similar to the second one. Yeah, right. So question 5 of 5. Let's start. Sorry, my cat here.
Wants to play.
Yeah, together. So the question is how AI need to handle a municipal by law that conflicts with basic law. First one, prioritize the municipal by law. Second, detect higher ranking law. Calculate an average property of both text or human judge need to delete invalid text. Sorry, I was too slow reader, but you are right. Detect a higher ranking law. So this you have a hierarchy, and this is very important as well. Which law is important to the end? Good. So let's go to the letterboard. Good. No, nee, no. Aber du kannst die Katze mitnehmen. Welche Katze? So Alex, you are leading.
Well, okay.
Great. Sorry. Good. Okay. End presentation, and let's go
That was
back.
fun. That was nice. Cool idea. Yeah.
Good.
And I don't say because I won, obviously. It's
Yeah, okay. Good. Good. Let me check. Okay. So the problem I faced, I think it was in December last year, was I have to build a tool, or we have to build a tool for the government to visualize the process changes through the evaluating law. As you know, especially the SGB 9 is changing now, and there's a lot of changes for the case workers as well. So as we can see, now is a very dynamic legal landscape. It's more dynamic than the last 10 years, I would say.
Mhm.
But there is behind a lot of complex operating guidelines, called in German Handlungsanweisungen, and the process based on mainframes and COBOL. So they have to
Okay.
bring people from the pension back to adapt processes. But the good one is with LLM, they tried a couple of times to solve these issues, but they never succeeded. So because they need a high accuracy and accountability. And also they have audit trails why this happened, and this compliance is very important here. So and also we have this anatomy of a law. You have a multidimensional matrix. We have on top, you have EU laws like the AI Act, the Data Act, the Data Governance Act, and so on. And then you have the Grundgesetz, the basic laws in Germany, and then you have federal laws like BGB and so on. And then you have the ordinances, bylaws, there's Handlungsanweisungen, there are Verlautbarungen, this is like this kind of things. And all these things, they are hierarchically, because if you're getting down, it's the fourth level, it's higher ranked in this case. Yeah. So, and vector search, they don't use it. So they are not seeing this hierarchy.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so for example, if you search for birth or death, and then you find everything in every law. It is this an EU law, a basic law, is it something, and this can be quite confusing. Um, so um, so I created an article and research on it. It was really good. So I get feedback from the community. You can scan this article if you want, and then you can read a little bit more about it. So I discuss where LLMs alone fail short. And on the left side, you have this generative AI with LLMs. There's just a probabilistic token prediction with triple chunks. So there's like a um, like like three words. Like the case worker have to ask for this specific ID, and then this one is one chunk for an LLM, but um, the context is missing. So the method is more intuitive. What sounds right? What is the next possible token? But a lawyer would say, no, 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 no. This is too complex to say. Yeah? And the risk is hallucinating. If you try this with a very complex case, I tried so often and it's failed. It sounds reasonable for us
Mhm.
non-lawyers. You say, it sounds good. But when you ask a lawyer, they say, no, 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 this is not possible. So, but now with the Graph AI, you have a deterministic rule execution. This is with this hierarchy is very, very concrete. And then you have this major and minor hierarchies, and then you can have a better conclusion, you know. Um, and the result is a more strict adherence to hierarchies and dependencies. And you can also explain that. There are some questions, right?
There was a question about the QR code. It says the QR code has been deactivated. I think the QR code you put on here is that leading to your LinkedIn article you picked it
Ah,
above?
okay. What I can do?
I put it in the chat already. So
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Adam, if you click on the link, I just posted it before
Mhm.
there, and if you and everybody else who's looking for it, it's in the YouTube video description as well.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, maybe you know this guy, LeCun, and LeCun was the chief AI and machine learning scientist for Meta, but he left Meta now, and he was my guiding mentor for that, because he said LLM is a dead end. I wouldn't agree that to 100%. Uh, but he said he wants to build a world model. Um, I remember with these ontologies was like sometimes pain in the ass, be honest. There are some people in research projects came with a huge world ontology map and say, now we have to discuss this. And it's like, oh gosh, that can take ages. But he is very convinced of that, and he built now the world model. He collected a lot of money now to do that, to say hierarchically authorities, temporary dynamics, and causal propagation, what you really know from a graph database, and cross jurisdictory interactions. And then he also built cognitive architecture. That means he passed for pass regulations, and he had like four things. He said you need that. Perception is for us pass the regulations.
Mhm.
Attention, focus on relevant clusters. So you need to build clusters of topics. Memory, maintain temporary views. So you have different views, like a memory on specific topics. And then planning and trace the causal chains. So that's a procedural step-by-step approach. Yeah. For example, also question answers. Yeah. Um, good. Um, so I asked this already. I think you know that. The most of you, the vector search trap is the similarity is not authority. It's a headline. So the problem is this vector search with rec um, finds semantically similar words, and but this is missing legal relationships. I want to give you an example. When you ask a query like who approved this regulation, who approved this case, the vector fails quite often because the retrieved document containing words like approval or regulation regardless of the context. So if that um, he give you something that's not really related to it. Yeah. So in this case, with a vector, most quite often it fails. And then with a graph, you can traverse through the graph until you come to the approver of that. You know, here you give you see the specific cyber um, cipher script. You see regulation. It's approved by authority, and there is a link between the two entities. Yeah. So So in this case, the law requires navigatable structures where the relationships have semantics and consequences, not just similarity, you know. And with a graph database, you have this directions, and you have and you have a name on a direction. So you can say, what is it for a relationship? Is there any question so far?
Yeah, we had a couple. Maybe we take a quick pause and look at those. Hank asks, how do you encode hierarchy into knowledge graphs?
Good question. I can show you. So hierarchies we do with a data model. I can show you later this data model.
Cool.
And if you have this data model, you can use the data model with hierarchies as well. So we have a fixed hierarchy, for example, like you have in a SGB, you have law, section, paragraph, and so on. I'm not a lawyer, so but you have this paragraph, you have this hierarchy as well, and then approval and so on. Yeah,
Mhm.
this is a fixed hierarchy, but you can also have dynamic hierarchies. With this is also possible, but
Okay.
we have fixed hierarchies here.
Okay. And then we can have a look at
Yeah.
it. And then Diarmut asks, in the quiz answers you had temporary dimension. Does it really need to be a temporal dimension? It means time-based, but not destroyed after time.
I will come to this slide,
You will come to this
then
as
it
well. Right. Cool.
explain a little bit more. Yeah.
Cover it later. And Hassan asks, what is the probability of loss function?
Where do you see lost function?
I don't know if I had posted a link in chat, so I didn't really see if you talked about this earlier in the previous
Mhm.
slide, maybe.
Lost function, I don't know.
Okay. Maybe Hassan, you can explain a little bit more what you mean here. Maybe
Mhm.
there was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
Let's dive into that afterwards. All right.
Good.
Cool.
Here's the question. Here's the right.
Here it is. Oh,
Right.
perfect. Yeah.
Here we are. So,
Yeah.
what is temporary blindness?
Mhm.
I don't know why he's switching to the next one. So, first thing, AI doesn't know what today is. So, it's more and more, I would say, it's working when you say what is today. Sometimes it's right, sometimes not. Quite often, when you ask, "Hey, can you show me a wall clock time?" Then he gives you always the 10 after 12. Yeah,
Mhm.
and and the and they cannot answer things like, "Is this deadline expired?" Because they are not knowing sometimes the day to day. And in documents, you find a lot of dates, and sometimes he don't know which one is a right one. Yeah. Then another thing is the calendar arithmetic. It's like legal deadlines. So you have to find legal deadlines when that happen. But then there's very sophisticated rules like you have 90 days um, until um, but without weekends and holidays.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
And this LLM, they cannot calculate. LLM cannot calculate this
No,
kind
they're
of
not good
things.
at
And then
math.
he's hallucinating dates like something else. So, and then we have also statefulness in temporary things. So there's like administrative procedures like asylum. They are a very long-term running state machine. So it's like after a couple of years, and then lose the context. By the way, yeah. And hopefully I can answer that with this slide. Otherwise, you can ask again. Yeah.
Super. Thank you.
So the solution is, and you can see here, a neurosymbolic graph AI. That means we have this level, we have domain knowledge, we have common sense, and we have factual reasoning. So on the left side, the LLMs, we still use the LLMs. We extract the intent, the entities, and the summarized text from the documents. Then we use it. It's called Graph RAG, and we build a knowledge graph that execute all the logic, enforces the hierarchies, and manage the retrieval. So what you can see here, we move from a normal document management to a knowledge management. With knowledge means you have relationships between information. Yeah, and you see here it's a little bit small, but you see here all the cipher scripts you can ask for. Yeah, and here you see the cipher scripts and how they are related with each other. Yeah, and then you can have different. You can click on the entities, and then you see everything is growing and go deeper into it. Yeah, but yeah. So this on the database level, how this looks like. Um, so the architecture level, as you can see, maybe you can also make it a little bit bigger than. So we built this normative skeleton. Oh, sorry, he jumps again. So we calculate the SGB, the Sozialgesetzbuch. I don't know how I calculate or translate that.
So,
Um,
yeah. Something with social law, legislative.
Yeah, social law in Germany. So we have 14 social laws, but Mr. Huber says 13 is a bad number, so we don't want to have 13. We want to have 14. So and here is a hierarchy. I said already that this is book, chapter, paragraph, and you can go deeper and deeper and deeper to that. So the scenarios, you can calculate the benefit for each single matter. So through the graph traversal, that means you find the legible rules, more or less. Paragraph 7 links to the child benefits amount. This is in paragraph 20. So you see, they have to be connected with each other. Links to the single parent extras. That's paragraph 21, absatz 3. So the result is you should check the whole 400 pages a book, but we don't need that anymore when you have this meta model. So you see, this is a meta model, and this is connected, or the bubbles are connected. I think this is law. I don't know. No, this is a very bad. Yeah, but this is usually, or maybe I can do it. No, I make very bad screenshot.
It's not high enough resolution to it, yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, there are some meta models. They are quite connected with each other. So I think that was a paragraph, and here was a book, and everything's connected. And then we've also self-referencing things. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go next one. Then we have architecture level 2, the temporary dimension. And we have like the legal concept, paragraph 20, sorry. And then we have the expression 2022, and it's valid to October 2024. And you get 400, the single mother get 449 euros. And in October 2024, she get 502 euro. And then you have to calculate with the case date. It's very important, not when you ask for it, when the case was open.
Okay.
No, this is very
Yeah,
important. This is very, very tricky. LLM cannot do that. And so, and this is also very tricky. In this case, you need to ask sometimes for it. So we also architecture layer 3, this procedural state machine. So the function was that we're modeling administrative workflows as directed graphs. And here you see one book with all the relations. Yeah, it's quite, and we have this 3D map, and you can go into it, and it's very, very impressive what we are doing here. And every step is linked to a legal justification. So, so we can mathematically proving it's deterministic if the procedure is halted by analyzing past traversals. And with LLM, it's very difficult. Yeah, that's not deterministic. So here, an example workflow for unemployment. You have to register to a specific time and it's very important. I think it was like 2 days, 3 days. Then it have to be check the eligibility in a specific
Mhm.
time, and then you will have an income check afterwards. Yeah, and this is this step procedural state, and it can happen sometimes months between. And this is also quite hard if you have legal cases. There are months in between. And then the LLM model says, no, there's no relationship between them. Yeah, and the practical case study, I talk with a lawyer. It's very interesting. That happened with me as well. When I pass a, a red light, um, and and I said, "Oh shit, I will lose my driver license." And then he said, "No, this area where you get this speed ticket, it's no problem." We say, "That's not you." And they will need to check that in 12 months, but they don't have time for it in 12 months. So in this case, you only have to pay for the lawyer.
This is not an official
But
advice how to deliver speeding tickets, by the way.
yeah, this is the way. This is, let's say, if you ask a LLM, the LLM always say you have to pay it.
Yeah.
But the lawyer, they said he cannot write you this,
No.
but you can call him. So I also think about how you can do this as a law. Then it's very close to illegal, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This failure to act. But this is quite often the lawyer is worth to pay,
Mm.
because he knows these dirty tricks here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so in this case, you can do that. You can model this in a graph, but I don't know is legal or not. But it's possible. Um, yeah, so we follow an hybrid approach. At first, we use Azure Cloud. As you can see here, we use Azure AI
Mhm.
Assistant. Azure AI Assistant, and then we have container apps. And in the container apps, we have fast API, docklink, and we put everything here for the pipeline. Then we have Neo4j Aura as a managed database, run everything very nicely, and then and with a full index, full text search, everything works well. But then the customer said, "No, I want to have a air gap system." So, okay,
Hmm.
shit. So, so I have to build a Neo4j database locally, open source, the rec service, everything in Docker containers, and then the AI stuff. I use Bitnet. Was it tricky, but it's very very efficient. With a 87% memory
Oh,
reduction. It's
yeah.
like the 1-bit LLMs. It's amazing.
So it's like a tiny LLM.
Yeah, very tiny one. Yeah. But then we thought about a chat a chat for a caseworker is maybe not the best one. And then we take a look on Neo4 but let's check at first what we did in Azure. So as what you can see here is the Azure AI Foundry. And you can see here the agent. Can you see my
Yes.
mouse?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you create a new agent. Then you create this agent. You get an agent ID, an agent name, deployment. You can say GPT for O mini, and then you can instruct that, and then you can make an action and say and add the Neo4j
Mhm.
instance. As you remember, this was this
Yeah.
instance. Yeah. So if you want to learn a little bit more, hopefully I can do it. Yes. As you can see here, together with Zaid, we wrote this article, how you can do that. Um, I cannot post this in a chat, I
You can
think.
post it in the private here with
Oh, yeah,
me,
good.
and then I can share it.
I do it here in the private, and then you can also
Perfect.
post it. So as you can see, there are different integration patterns. As you can see, wait a moment, I cannot scroll here. Yeah, here. We have different integration pattern with the context providers, direct SDKs. The MCP is here, the HTTP query interface. I only implement that the with the Microsoft Agent Framework. Yeah. Um, and we discussed these kind of things here, how to do that step by step with the MCP. But also, I can tell you with the MCP, you need 5 to 10 more tokens as you do it with the SDK or CLI. That's my.
Ah,
I was a huge
interesting.
fan of
Yeah.
MCP at
Okay.
first. I developed 10 MCP servers.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh shit, that takes a
Takes
lot
more
of
tokens. Okay. Yeah.
tokens. So if you want to save tokens, and especially if you have a lot of MCP servers,
Mm.
then you have to read everything, all the descriptions of the MCP servers. That took a lot of
I see.
tokens in this case. If you have less than 5 um, procedures, then it's fine. Then MCP is your choice. HTTP query AP is also very simple. If you But then you're stuck a little bit on HTTP. If you are using the Microsoft Agent Framework, you are stuck on Microsoft. So MCP is very, I would say, it is the most flexible one, but it takes more tokens. Yeah. Yeah. So let's go this. Here I summarize again: Azure AI Foundry, while direct integration into Microsoft Unified Agent Framework is like a semantic kernel or autogen convergence, and they have the agent to urge agent from Google. They have the MCP, so they integrate all the different protocols here inside. Then Model Context Protocol, and then HTTP Query API in Aura. Yeah. So, as I ask, is a chat prof- is a chat a professional tool for caseworkers? Here, it's like this me. I make just a question. It's like how much money can I get as a single mother?
Yeah.
Then ChatGPT gives you the right answer. But I'm not a single mother, so in this case, he didn't know really the context.
Yeah.
And I would say more and more the the LLMs they ask,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
give
That's
search the
yeah.
context, and this reduce the hallucination. And as you know, NeoDash is an open source community, or it was an open source community version. So you can see you have here you have tiles, and in this tiles you have the 3 dots. You can click on that, and you can integrate directly cipher scripts, and then you can build this up.
That still works on
And
Aura,
then
by the way. So if you use even for local instances, so if you use the new Aura interface
mhm,
with a local instance, you can use NeoDash to create dashboards, even for the free
mhm.
edition.
Yeah, that's right. And now there's the
But there is
community edition is a little bit paused or ended, but there's a commercial
exactly.
product, and this commercial product is inside, as you said, in
Yeah.
Aura. And if you want to use it locally, you need a license or use this license. But we find out this front end directly um, um, speak with the backend, with the database. So if an attacker find out the credentials, you can destroy the whole database. Yeah. So in this case, I also had a discussion or a call with a product manager from Neo4j, and he said for prototyping is a very good tool, but if you develop that or you want to have a front end, take the Cypher scripts, put it in a back end, and then have like a layer in between and create a front end out of that. And we are using that now for prototyping with customers.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So the future, I told you document management to knowledge management. LLM only, you have hallucinations. With the Graph LLM, you have verifiable sources. With LLM only, you have probabilistics, and Graph and LLMs are deterministic. And with the LLM, you are totally time blind. And with Graph, you can give the time awareness inside. And then for LLMs, that's a black box. And the Graph, it's expandable path, you know. So my lessons learned was, at first I was a little bit scared to learn Cypher scripts. But with Claude Code and Warp, I can write Cypher scripts very easily. That was really, really nice to see what is possible. And also to create the pipelines. I, c- I, c- I avoid PDFs and to create clean knowledge graphs. So we are not using Apache Ticker on Docklink anymore so much. We are using Internet, Gesetze im Internet. I can show you. And this is very nice. See here. And you have this also on a European level. As you can see, SGB, SGB, SGB. Yeah, here. And then you have an XML. And with this XML, you have everything structured, what you can see here, you know. So you don't need to go through the HTML or to the PDF, and everything is very well structured. So you don't need a graph rack to extract the data from documents. We directly create the nodes and fill the
Okay.
nodes.
Yeah.
So it's more accurate, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the questions that came in from CBSAG, was about, oops.
Hear me?
I think you're back. We lost you for a brief second there.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions that came in. I was just saying about, since building a knowledge graph, CBSAG wrote this, since building a knowledge graph requires an LLM to extract relationships manually, how do you prevent it from hallucinating legal hierarchies that aren't actually in the text? I think with this, what you just showed, I think you can avoid this, and I think you probably have to. You have to make sure that either you have some kind of, and this applies to more things beyond, legal text is particularly important, but generally, if you create an ontology or a taxonomy, probably combination of the two, and you have a clear definition of what is what and how does what connect to what, then you can build up that knowledge graph and then add additional information to that. But the basic scaffolding or the basic lining of your data model needs to be sound. Otherwise,
I can tell you one thing. I had some laws. There was in 2 columns, and if you are not using the right text extractors, they read from left to right.
Okay.
And that was crazy.
Messy.
It was like, what is that? That doesn't make sense, this text.
Yeah.
And then I realized, okay, that's 2 columns. So I read from left to right, and this can happen, so I can tell you, it's better to use structured text, not PDFs, Yeah.
At least not for the baseline. I think once you have the baseline created with a strong structure, then you can come in with unstructured tests, because then the mapping is easier, and then you can find, okay, this belongs here, this is that's and this. But
So when we have the Handlungsanweisungen, they are in PDFs, so the operating procedures, and then we hang them into, or we relate them to the specific paragraphs and so on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, then hybrid search is mandatory. So graph misses some exact matches. So we combine these graph searches and Lucene searches. There's also another thing. We are using both. Then design portability, we developing everything locally with Docker. And then we also deploy that cloud native to the cloud. We are using Azure AKS, Azure Kubernetes Services. Good. So the live demo.
Before we dive into that, I think we have one more
Mhm.
question. I think because you just showed this, Svetoslav asks it if Markdown wouldn't be the better choice instead of XML for extracting nodes and creating ontologies. I don't know. Probably Markdown is not so supported or provided by this
Internet, that's
particular
an internet.
website
Yeah, that's
you're
right.
using. So
Yeah,
that's why you chose
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Other questions?
There's one more, but I would like to see the demo. So keep
Yeah,
talking.
I think the demo takes a little bit time. I
I don't
have
know.
a very interesting thing I want to discuss with you,
Yeah.
because that was my learning. Then you can see here what um, Docker, what Claude is generating, as you can see here.
Mhm.
When you say, hey, can you give me a comprehensive analysis and give me for each analysis um, the, the graph, um, um, the cipher scripts. So it helps very much, as you can see here. He creates statistic queries and write everything down, and then it's very helpful. And then you can put that very easily next to the um, in Neo4j. It's very good. Then you can build a very long list of predefined cipher scripts. Yeah,
Mhm.
and everyone can do it. So in this case, for the developers, they can research
Okay.
very
Yeah, I know
easily.
what you mean. Yeah. And then you
Mhm.
have some kind of saved. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
But this is saved only. This is quite funny in a on a browser side in Neo4j. So if
Mhm.
you go to another browser, it's lost. So you need to integrate it
You need
again.
okay. Mhm.
Um, then the document pipeline, as you said, Gesetz im Internet. I told you, and it looks like that. I won't open this, but you can see here how well structured is it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have these legal PDFs, but we are not using it if we found this one here. Yeah.
Okay.
And on the European level, we have the same. And then this has happened on last week, I think. It was on the third, right?
Eh, I don't know. I don't I mean, I'm not in the
So
legal spaces. I didn't follow it
yeah,
maybe, so I
on
didn't.
February 3rd,
Yeah. Okay.
Anthropic announced Cloud Workspace plugin for legal. And as you can see here, that's the leading legal companies. They lost in one day, in after the announcement, after 10 minutes,
Yeah.
they lost they lost sometimes 20%.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
It's
see.
crazy, isn't it? So
That's
they
crazy.
was also saying, wow, okay, is it so good? Then I install the plugin and say, okay, and it's work flows um, or workbooks from workbooks.
Mhm.
They plan, execute, and review. And then asking the
Ah,
user.
so that's an
Um,
already defined loop, and then
yeah, yeah.
okay. Mhm.
And then you have in Claude. Before it was Claude Desktop. Now it's Claude Workspace. They have access to your local machine. And then you can give, for example, a folder and say, hey, review all the contracts, and then do the contract check, triage and NDA, and he check the NDAs. Then he can say vendor check, brief, respond, very interesting. So there, behind every command, they have different workbooks they are running, and you also can create new workbooks here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so as I said, I believe the future is hybrid. That means, oh sorry, um, the Claude legal plugin, it's still a black box. You don't know why he's doing that. So
Yeah.
it's still probabilistic, and it's non-deterministic.
Okay. But
Um,
how was your impression when you tried it? Did you had a
be honest, I'm not a lawyer.
No, of course.
Everything sounds very reasonable. I say,
Yeah.
wow,
Okay.
this is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to the end, a lawyer have to check.
Of course.
But I believe it is like a co-pilot for a lawyer. The
Okay.
lawyer
Yeah, but that's
knows to
already
answer
quite.
the questions from the
Yeah.
workbook, and it's easier, you know.
Mhm.
Otherwise, the lawyer have to read everything. It could be
Yeah, it takes a lot of
10,000
time.
of pages, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's good for drafting, summarization, and triage. And then the Neo4 graph solution, I would say, is a more glass box because you see where it goes. And the philosophy is verify the path. And the best is adjunction, compliance, and calculations. The calculation is not doing the Claude code. Yeah. Um, so yeah, if you want to connect with me in LinkedIn, you can do it. And I will check the other, if I can show you something, you know. Wait a moment. I need to check if I have it open, you know, new dash, because there was I came back after 3 weeks, and there are some things they are not working anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like, oh, my
Yeah.
team work on it, and I need to fix it. So as you can see, this is the entities. Everything start with entities. Um, as you can see, I think there are two, SKB 2 and 3, as you can see. And uh, we are not using a chat agent here. You can click on a paragraph, and then we define the entities. And what we are doing, um, we use schema.org. Schema.org, maybe you know this, have a very schema.org define schemas.
Yeah.
And then
That's cool.
you can use this to press. Otherwise, you have different words for the same thing. And then your graph is very hard to read. And they are missing relationships. A question, for example, a question. Or an example, sorry, an example. For example, Bezugshöhe or Auszahlungshöhe would be the same one. So it's like
How
in
much money you
English,
are getting paid?
yeah, but there are different words,
Yeah.
different wordings. But on a graph, if you do that, then you have nodes with different things without relationships. So what we are doing is we use the schema.orgs and press this in this schema and say, and we are using LLMs and narrow that to this schema.org. And that helps a lot, you know. And this is what we are doing. And then you can click on this. Oops, it's not doing. Oh, yeah. And we can check this. And then we have, this is not working anymore. Sorry. I wish to, for example, a Geburt. And then we have the processes. We can, this related with birth and death and so on.
Okay.
And this is working. And as you can see in that NeoDash, you have these cipher scripts behind, you know,
Yeah.
and you can very easily build your tiles. It's a little bit tricky to do that, and you need to install APOC, and then you can let's say make more complex processes here.
The new version is a little bit easier to use. It's got a couple of more also AIs, features where
ah,
you can give it a bit more,
okay.
it creates a
So
couple more things for you out of the box.
Yeah,
yeah,
perfect.
yeah,
Yeah. And then we created BPMNs, as you can see. I can show you. So the BPMN I can load, as you can see, with LLMs. Moment, open from local file. So as you can see, this is all the, maybe you know BPMN as a business process modeling notation. That's usually you have swimming lanes, and then you have the processes and defined things. And we created automatically with LLMs all
oh
the
wow,
processes.
okay, that's a lot.
And I can tell you,
Yeah,
there are dozens of consultants to create these kind of things from the Lord.
yeah,
And we are doing that with LLMs. So
yeah.
as you can see, yeah, replace the diagram. As you can see,
Oh, okay,
you have to be a little bit more nicer, but
yeah,
you
okay,
have this already, yeah. And then you can see the solve processes, and here there's a process flow, and this is, let's say, this is a tool. It's not a chat anymore. This is
yeah,
like a tool, and you can build this tool. And what Neo Dash is very helpful. You you show this to a process consultant or to a caseworker and say, yeah, this is great. And you
yeah,
say,
it's all the
can you
information.
do this one? And then if you are very good in cipher scripts, you do the
Yeah,
next one and make a new tile. And this is a very good workshop, very productive workshop to do that with your customers together, because you build the front end. I wouldn't say no code, because cipher scripts
no,
is
there's some
not
code
so
involved for sure.
easy,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but you
Even
don't
though
need
you know
to.
more and more, you can write less and less yourself. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do
yeah.
co-pilot features. But
This is
yes,
also,
I agree. But it's a great tool to get a one stop.
yeah. And
Um,
this is our next stop, is if we have everything together,
mhm.
our front end team, they build from here a more secure, more
Of course.
stable front end.
Yeah. Oh, very cool.
Good. Okay. That's 1 hour. Hopefully we
Wow. Yeah. Time
have still
flew.
people in the call.
Yeah, there are still people there. We have a couple of questions open.
Yeah, sure.
I would see if we can maybe talk about those a little bit before we
Yeah.
wrap. Svetoslav asks, are you adding and connecting additional information to already existing nodes and relationships manually with the help of LLMs? So I think when you said
Mhm.
you have like these Anweisungen or I don't know what they
Mhm.
call it in English, but if you
Um,
have um, procedures where you then somebody has to follow a certain process
mhm.
or a certain
So
way of
I
doing,
can.
how do you what's your recommendation on adding basically
Mhm.
unstructured data
Yeah.
to your graph?
So I can show you. So we have like a pipeline. We built a pipeline in, I think it was here, original, oops, code, oops. This is a pipeline. I think I need to, here's a preview. Wait a moment, I need to close this one. Close, and go this one. This would be, this one. We want the pipeline MD file. Yeah, you see. The good one in a graph is not like a database, a relational database. So what we are doing, we pass the XML laws, then we load the structure into Neo4j, then we extract the entities, as I said, from schema.org.
Mhm.
Then we extract the business rules, validate the task, validate the schema.org again, and bring them together. Then we load the LLM extraction, load the business rules, and here um, the business rules. Oh, why he's
Yeah.
to go down. The business rules and the consolidate entity models, generate the vector embeddings. Then we add more and more information on top of that. So we make more relation on top of that, and this is very effective. You can use with a small graph, and then you add more and more information on top of that. Then you can use graph rack and use operating procedures on top of that. And our next step is that's a local pipeline, and we are using Dexter, and then implementing these kind of things in Dexter as well, and run this centralized on databases. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And then maybe one more to finish us out from Chappie came in. He says, I'm working with PDFs and can't get XML or any other structured format. I'm trying, it's a similar question, I guess, trying to convert the files into specific structure files and have been experimenting with different tools like Growbit or PDF Plumber. Do you have any recommendation on how best to approach that?
We use Apache Ticker, so we also think about it. So Apache Ticker was quite okayish, but I like more. What was it? Duck. What was it? Dockling. Doc. Doc. Was Dockling? Like this one. Yeah, Dockling, this one. Dockling is also very good. And as I said, the problem with the multi-layer columns, Dockling solved that. So I would say, for me, this is the most advanced tool for PDF to structure. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. And then maybe because it's an interesting approach, and maybe it's probably needing more of a domain expert than the technicians here. But Lile asks, when the ethical guidelines layer on the ontology contradict the domain knowledge layer, e.g., a legal precedent that is technically valid but ethically flagged, I guess like your avoiding of the speeding ticket. How do we mathematically weigh those ontological paths in Neo4j to ensure the LLM's output prioritizes the correct layer?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think there was back to the hierarchy thing. There was this slide. Hopefully, wait a moment. It was this one. So as you can see, you can have more and more layer with this, for example, with the law or the law. If the authority don't answer back in 12 months, then it's like on this one. So it's a good question where you position that. A lawyer search for this kind of things. That's the first thing what they said. Okay, this is the most important thing to get out of this trap.
Yeah.
uh, um, but you also can check here if you have a clash between a basic law and a federal law, or a specific bylaw and a EU law. Yeah, and then a good lawyer can also say, you are the first one with this one. We can go up to the top, but that takes a lot of money, or you have to pay a lot if you want to do it. And if you say, yeah, no worries, I have time, I have money, you can do it. So this graph, I also use it, can show you some conflicts
Okay.
between 4 and 1. But this is, I would say, lawyers don't search in the first moment, because that's the hard way. They try to avoid that and find an easier way. If they're like, is in German Verlautbarung. So is there like one case already, and this case says, yeah, here in this case, we decided like that. This is like the ordinance,
Okay. So,
and then it's much better instead of going up to the EU law. But you can do it as
okay.
well.
Yeah. And then when you hierarchically layer this out, do you put different weights on certain ones, or do you just strictly put them above each other as a hierarchy? Or is that an idea you could have in terms of when something is a little bit softer,
Mhm.
maybe within a law, a layer, or maybe within, we can say, okay, you could go this way, could go this way. is there maybe like lots of decisions has been maybe in this court, and some decisions have been for this decision, then maybe this is
You
more,
can do it with
yeah,
CipherScript. With the CipherScript, you can say, hey, search at first here, and if you don't find it, and then you go up,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, makes sense.
This, I would say, is more the CipherScript, how you write
Handle
the
it, okay.
CipherScript. And I would say, be honest, I'm not a
No, of course we're
lawyer.
not.
You have to sit with a lawyer and take a look and say, hey, this is like that. And then the good one with LLM, you type it in, it's like, hey, it should be like that. And then he give you the right CipherScript in the right direction, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. All of what we said today is obviously no legal advice in any kind. We
Yeah.
we are both no lawyers. We not no legal experts. We are on the technical side. We can show you how it's been done and how you can do it. But if you actually, it's called a precedent. Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
And if you want to do something in that space, talk to somebody who actually knows what you are relevant. Okay, of course, also this example is EU German. If you're outside here, if you're in Africa or in Asia or in America, obviously different hierarchies, different constellations come into play.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I think that is the end of today's session. Very interesting, very cool with this with the fun quiz at the beginning, and very interesting thought about law and hierarchies and graph AI plus the LLM and vector. So super cool topic today. Thank you very much, Matthias, for giving us this information and this overview. Thank you all for watching today. We are back on the 24th of February, so in 2 weeks' time, basically, with a data scientist's first dive into graph query language and into the world of graphs with facial recognition system and data science. So should be a fun discussion then. Road to Nodes has just been announced. Lots of AI, Road to Nodes AI, lots of topics from fundamentals with graphs to advanced graph rag systems with graph neural networks and MCP server, obviously, and long-term memory. So good mix of things. A little bit what Jan LeCun also more about this world graph with memory and the graph structure. So I'm hoping that could be interesting to you. It's part of our Nodes AI session. So if you want to look at that, join Nodes AI in April, or at least join the Road to Nodes workshops that are happening in March. And if you want to know more, check out the Graph Academy, check out Neo4j Aura Free. You can build dashboards there as well as a free add-on feature that's been added a couple of months ago. So you can do that there. And if you want to know more, check out our new and freshly updated Neo4j developer pages. Just go to neo4j.com/developer. And yeah, with that, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for your questions, for your comments and feedback. If you want to know anything more, anything additionally, always YouTube comments on this video is the place to go. We monitor that and we check that out. Matthias is open for connection, so if you have anything else, let him know. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming, Matthias, and for your time. And I hope to see you soon at another live stream, another event, workshop, or meetup, or somewhere else.